It's Nolan. Hit you with the no delay in my progress. All the time struggling, only further my conquest. Looking to the future, I wrote and printed the concept. Posted to the net, but that's just a piece of the mindset. Brand slow balling, I'm snowballing, get back to work. Got your favorite companies watching me, but they never chirp. Big names, all of my stories, I see them studying. I probably could have helped them. I guess they stuck in they stubbornness. This shit is jokes. Independent living, did it with the quotes. Been a hidden hand, sending lyrics, and it's been remote. From the home set up, these jokers, it's known beggars. You nothing without a squad. I'm fixing my phone settings. The lyricist, supremacists, the penmanship is limitless. I'm building businesses, aiming again since I've been in this. I'm 007, been cold since '07. How I do it? I was home alone, Kevin, goal setting, but now my goal setting, commentating, they fixating. Light from the hand, the pins rating, forget waiting. I hit record, then I hit record. If a nigga play me on the mic, then I choke him with the cord, yeah. I'm sacrificing money here with every verse, giving punchlines to these rappers when I said it first. Preaching to the choir, giving facts like we in the church. I'm just praying for the day, start to reimburse. True prerogative, they blew the entire budget, they do it. Minor discussions, I'm zooming in higher uppers like Mr. Nolan, we should get this rolling. Tell me what you need, a check, pause, semicolon. I'm tired of the games, fanning the flames, I'm making a change. You don't value what I'm bringing, then it's not an exchange. Only resolution I'm worried about is 4K. If you really wanna party with me, then set up the play, bitch. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everyone is doing well this evening. Now, in this particular show, we're going to be getting into Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion, okay? Now, of course, we know Nicki Minaj and Megan have not been seeing eye to eye for some time. At the top of the year, they had their little spat. We had Hiss and Bigfoot going back and forth. That played out in front of the world. Definitely caused a tailspin in hip hop. Definitely started some of the competitive edge that ended up coming into the year. I don't care what anyone says. If you don't believe it, the top of the year, nobody was rapping in that fierceness. Megan kicked it off. Nicki came back. She did her, you know what I mean? I wasn't a big fan of Bigfoot, but she returned fire. And a lot's been happening since then. A lot of people try to give credit to Cat Williams, whatever. That was in a totally different bracket. Cat Williams was really talking about the expose of people's behind the scenes proclivities and deficiencies and fuckery. So miss me with that bullshit, all right? Nonetheless, right? Since that exchange happened at the top of the year, we've seen that Nicki Minaj has still been kind of perpetuating an ongoing comparison between herself and Megan. And for some reason, she still is on that vibe. So in the midst of Nicki receiving excellent news about her tour, as a matter of fact, updates have been released sharing that Nicki and her Pink Friday 2 World Tour now ranks among the top 5 highest grossing hip hop tours ever, which is a major accomplishment. That's not no small achievement. I don't care if you like her, don't like her, whatever you want to say. She's in her elder era, you know what I'm saying? And I don't mean elder as in like she's old, but she's been around for 15 years or so, top dog. And in her latter part of her career, she went out and launched a top 5 highest grossing hip hop tour of all time. That's great. You know what I'm saying? She didn't produce that type of tickets prior. So it's a great achievement, right? So they also say Nicki Minaj is officially the 5th black woman in history to gross over $100 million in a single tour, now joining Tina Turner, Beyonce, Rihanna, and SZA. So in all of music, not just hip hop, but in all of music, she's the 5th black woman in history to gross over $100 million in a single tour. Again, excellent achievement. Congratulations. We cannot overlook that and act like it didn't happen. That's history, right? However, it feels to me as if she kind of diminishes her own achievements by then taking a stab at Megan, right? Because as all of this good information is coming out and hitting the net and everybody's happy, everybody's celebrating, even more updates, right? Nicki Minaj's Pink Friday 2 extends its record as the most successful tour by a female rapper in Europe's history with $18.2 million from 161,000 tickets sold in 14 shows. So in the international in Europe, she killed it over there too, right? They say Nicki Minaj's lifetime revenue has now surpassed $160 million from over 1.7 million tickets sold in 170 shows, extending her record as the highest grossing and best-selling female rapper in history. Just continued dominance, right? So that top 5 that we're talking about is Drake, number 1, with his All a Blur, 80 shows, bringing in $320 million. Number 2 is Travis Scott with Circus Maximus. He's brought in $154.7 million on his tour this year. He's done 63 shows. He's got 14 more to go. He's going to do 77 in total. Number 3 is Kendrick Lamar with the Big Steppers tour, $110.9 million. Nicki Minaj comes in at number 4 with Pink Friday 2, $108.8 million. And then number 5 is 50 Cent with his Final Lap tour, $108.4 million. And then in that list down below, you got a bunch of Drake shit. You got Drake, Aubrey, and the Three Amigos. You got Drake and Future, Summer 16. You got Kanye West and Jay-Z, Watch the Throne. Kendrick Lamar, Damn Tours. Under that, Travis Scott, Astro World. And at the bottom, you have Drake's Would You Like a Tour. So these are the top rap tours of all time. Nicki has become top 5. Congrats. You know what I'm saying? That's amazing. That's dope. Again, as she's taking her victory lap, she decides to throw salt at Megan. Let's go ahead and hear what she had to say.
You ain't no gangster. You are Ronald McDonald. You gotta sit there and let a mother dish you. And you can't say a thing. Cause y'all gotta. One thing about it, 3 tours in 1 year. Album numbers on a mixtape. And I've always been like that. I do not care. I am not pretending to like nobody because I'm scared. Thought you was a gangster. Clown. 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 Yo. Imagine having to watch this you, take shots at you, play with you, laugh at you, and then you got act like you like them. Copping, please. No. I did not say that. But what I'm saying is, niggas had to hide the niggas had to hide the touring data. I can't. No. Niggas had to hide. Yo, no way, Jose. No fucking way, Jose. Not okay. Hide the touring data because the Bob's gonna be on it, child. And we don't want them to know. But you see how much of a fucking G I am? Did you see? Now I want you to fucking understand the level of G you gotta be to be like, set the tone, set the pace.
All right. So that's Nicki Minaj alluding to Megan Thee Stallion, right? And I think me saying she's been in the game for 15 years is actually a little bit of an underestimation. I think she is about 18 years in at this point, if I'm not mistaken. But whatever. 18 years into the game, I'm still trying to figure out why she's comparing herself to an artist that hasn't even been here for 10. Megan, as a mainstream act, has been here for 6 years. So those are very different stages in the career, right? Megan just had her first major tour. The first major tour that she really was planning on doing was hindered by COVID in the heart of 2020. So y'all are facing different challenges just with the elements, not even just with the industry, but with the elements in general, because everybody had to halt touring for a significant amount of time in order for health and safety reasons, right? Which also impacted people's money. A lot of artists that we thought were high rolling in the industry during that time period were taking out PPP loans and taking out all types of loans to try to get ahead. Not to mention other artists of smaller status, or not even say smaller status, but lower status in the industry that don't have the same opportunities as the major acts or the bigger acts. They started reverting to scamming independent artists and the fans in order to get ahead financially, right? So again, that is the landscape that Megan has had to like deal with and navigate herself through as a somewhat new artist, because back in 2020 she was really only on her like second and a half, third year being out. So if that's the case, then that means that you kind of halted your progression due to the world having to stop. And that's not an excuse. That's just what it is. Everybody was impacted by that shit. Whether you had to continue going to work, whether you were able to take off from work, whether your job laid you off, like there's a lot of different moving parts just in everybody's lives. So as she finally got around to setting up her tour, she had a successful tour. Now, why the touring data has not been disseminated, I don't know. I don't have an excuse for that. I don't have a reason for that. At one point, the touring data was being updated. I believe if you go and look at Megan Thee Stallion's Hot Girl Summer Tour on Wikipedia, they have the statistics for about 15 shows. I think there was a total of 35 shows. I don't know why the other 20 don't have the data there. If you go on the touring data website, they do have Nicki Minaj's numbers. If you go and look at the Hot Girl Summer Tour on the touring data website, it's blank. There's nothing there. I don't know if there was something there and they were asked to take it down. I don't know. That's something that I personally cannot offer insight upon, right? I don't know if that's, she claims that Megan and them, Rock Nation, are hiding the numbers, basically trying to avoid embarrassment from the Barbs. But only reason why I don't feel like that's a valid reason is because the Barbs are going to find any sort of deficiency in what you have going on and use it against you, whether that be the touring data, whether that be, I'm sure they're waiting for Megan's documentary to drop on the 31st so that they can try to go find the stats on that so they can downplay it, right? They're going to, when she drops her mixtape, they're going to look at what the sales are on that so that they can downplay it. So no matter what it is that she does, Nicki's fan base is always going to find anything that they can use to try to find a dig. So if Rock Nation's philosophy is let's hide these touring numbers so that they don't put it online and make it look crazy, then I don't understand why they playing that game. I'm gonna be honest, because from what I know, it was a successful tour throughout the U.S. Then she went over and did some overseas festivals. They canceled a couple dates, but she finished out her obligation over there. That was successful. So all of those things being factored in, I don't understand the need to have those things taken down. They could still be tallying that stuff too. I don't know. Trying to get all of the proper reporting in. But from Nicki's perspective and from the Barb's perspective, I think they're saying Nicki's numbers came out immediately. Why is it that Megan's hasn't been put out yet? But again, we're talking about a nearly 20-year vet versus an artist that has not hit 10, that's had less than half the time, maybe might never match your accomplishments, right? But I don't think that the battle or the issue between Megan and Nicki is about matching up career stats, right? It seems that the beginning of the issue is Megan was just out here trying to exist, get her feet into the ground and establish herself, right? And while she's putting her feet into the ground to establish herself, she's working with artists that are open to working with her. So she worked with Nicki early, right? That was cool. Then she had the opportunity to work with Cardi. That was cool. That was a massive record. It was a more successful record than the one she did with Nicki. Right? Cool. From that point forward, the funny stuff started happening, right? I think Nicki unfollowed her, started hearing some bars coming her direction. She started dropping some bars back. She's defending herself, right? She's not saying, I'm a bigger artist than you. That would be stupid to say I'm a bigger artist than the biggest female rapper of all time. Doesn't make no sense. How can you compete with that if you're talking about numbers? But I do believe she thinks that she can out-rap Nicki. That's debatable. Everybody's going to have their own perspective on that. 2024, if I go and listen to a Nicki Minaj song and the level of rapping, and I go listen to a Megan Thee Stallion song and the level of rapping in 2024, I'm edging on Megan's side. I don't think we've heard nothing from Nicki Minaj in 2024 or 2023 when Pink Friday 2 dropped. That's just like leaps and bounds above what Megan Thee Stallion is able to do as a rapper. I'm not a fan of the you bitches is my sons every 2 bars rap. Well, we've heard that for a while now. She has a massive fan base that loves to hear it. That's just not my cup of tea. For those that it is, that's what's up. That's dope. But when I hear Megan get on a track and she putting her foot to the gas, she has, I don't know where they come up with this one flow hoe shit from. She got multiple flows. She has multiple cadences, right? She can go at different paces. And she pops her shit just like, you know what I'm saying, what she's supposed to do. She's a Southern rapper that's popping her shit in line with the lineage of Southern rappers popping shit. So, you know, to me, it just feels like she's stealing her own joy, Nicki Minaj. Perhaps the younger ladies that are coming into the game today, maybe they're fueling something within her to keep going. Maybe they're the hidden inspiration that she'll never acknowledge is that, right? Because when the field was beginning to clear out a little bit, I wouldn't even say clear out because it was always clear, but as she was getting up in age, in tenure, let me say tenure, not age, right? Because I'm not an ageist when it comes to hip hop, but she was getting up in tenure, and there was nobody around. I think at a certain point you're gonna get a little bit bored. Like, damn, I don't got nobody to play with. I don't got nobody to compete with. Like, am I gonna have to entertain myself for 20 years, 25 years of doing this shit? So then you start getting this female rap resurgence. You get the Cardis, you get the Megans, you get the City Girls, you get the Sweeties. Now, out of these artists, and more recently you got the Doechis, the Doja Cats, right? But at that point you start looking at the field and it's like, oh, okay, Lottos, they popping up. How you take that, I don't live in her mind, right? It seems that there was a level of being willing to collaborate, but then there was also a level of, if I collaborate with y'all, you're indebted to me for the rest of your motherfucking life. Who wants to live by that? You know what I'm saying? So she like decided to take on this mean girl persona because these ladies ain't your friends. They didn't grow up with you, right? You didn't play a pivotal role in none of their development. They might have looked at you and took inspiration from you, but you ain't mentoring nobody to come into the game. You ain't getting nobody to X and O's. You know what I'm saying? All of the things that other people in hip hop have done for other artists, which can justify why shit goes left. I can understand a Kanye and Big Sean having issues. Because Kanye found Big Sean when he was damn near fresh out of high school, rapping at a radio station to come impress him. And he said, fuck it, I'm going to sign you. They go through many years of ups and downs, being in proximity to each other in studio sessions, writing. Yeah, there's some personal feelings that's going to be there. Nicki ain't have that with nobody. So you really got no reason to be mad at none of these new ladies. And regardless of your success, which I salute, I think it's awesome. It's magnificent, right? But with that success, why are you not fulfilled? Why are you not happy? Why are you not riding off into the sunset to say, I did my shit. I put my flag in the ground. I'm the biggest ever. And maybe nobody is ever going to touch what I've accomplished. But shit, I would want for the female rap space to be preserved after I'm gone. When I decide to lay this shit down, I want y'all to still be able to thrive. Nah, you're trying to stamp out everybody that's around you as if you're going to be doing this shit for another 20 years. I don't see that. I would hope not. So that's how I see it. I think Nicki's talented. I think she's a dope writer. I think she is, she still has that talent in her. I just haven't heard the level of rapping that I really liked from her in a while. That's all I can say. I haven't heard that. And she ain't been getting on features for people, which is where she really thrived for a very long time, was just body and features. She hasn't been the feature heavy artist in recent years. So that level of rapping that she did on the features, it hasn't been present. It is what it is. So at this point, keep being successful. She says that she said not too long ago, Pink Friday 3 is on the way, so she's gonna come right back. Now, whether she does a Pink Friday 3 tour immediately or whatever, I don't know. There was rumors of a hiatus. She came out and debunked that. Like, ain't no hiatus and ain't no hiatus announcements. So fuck what you're talking about. So apparently, because there was going to be a deluxe of Pink Friday 2, she says, no, I'm not going to do a Pink Friday 2 deluxe. I'm going to do a Pink Friday 3 entirely new album. Okay, do that then. You know what I'm saying? But to stay in constant competition with somebody that's new, that has not reached your horizon yet, that feels like a level of insecurity to me. And I'll take it a step further. Even who I have proclaimed as my living GOAT, Jay-Z. There was a moment where he got a bit of insecurity as it pertained to Drake. I'm not going to rewrite history. That's what it was. You know what I'm saying? Drake started getting a little big for his britches, started feeling himself. He started calling himself the new Hove and shit like that. Jay-Z didn't like that shit. He like, nigga, you can't be me. I came in doing this shit myself and the industry followed. You have gotten a lot of your opportunities handed to you because you were the preferable, you know what I'm saying? The preferable option. You're talented, you're dope, but it's a different type of game. Jay-Z wasn't the preferable option. No label wanted to sign him in 96. So he like, dog, you got a lot more to do. Hey, No, we ain't talking summers, right? Because I can still come out and dominate a summer, right? He's my living GOAT. He was insecure. He didn't like that Drake was encroaching upon what he had going on. He started backing him up. Eventually, Jay-Z got off that shit. It wasn't a very long process. It was a couple years. But in hindsight, that was insecurity speaking. That was him trying to figure out, hey, bro, don't you think you can't be me and you need to chill. At a certain point, I think Nicki should have been chilled. We're going to go into 2025. It's going to be what? You still going to be competing with this lady all over again? Megan's only going up. Megan's only going to keep grinding and keep growing. She has youth on her side to do this very comfortably for a while. So that's my assessment of the situation. Now, moving forward, Megan also has the documentary which I made reference to earlier. It'll be out on Halloween. I believe it's called In Her Words, if I'm not mistaken. And let's get to that because it's coming out on Amazon Prime, right? So they say Megan Thee Stallion will soon be heating up the small screen instead of the stage. The 3-time Grammy-winning musician took to Instagram to announce a feature-length documentary due for release on Prime Video October 31st. We talked about this a few weeks ago, but Megan hadn't stamped it as of yet. It was announced through another website. So Megan says, hotties, my documentary is out October 31st. I'm nervous and excited for y'all to see it, but it's finally here. Okay, now in this documentary, they're going to be following her through the last few years. So it's going to be her rise to stardom, the controversy surrounding, that rapper that I don't talk about on this channel and what happened between them and her personal injuries and the industry picking sides, how she felt, all those things, and her redemption arc coming into this year, I would suppose. So we're just going to have to see what that does, right? I'll be watching it. She also has her Halloween pop-up show, which I believe will be in Chicago this year. Hottie Ween. So if you're a Chicago hottie, you know what I'm saying, you follow her. Hey, you got something to pop out at, you know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much where we at with it, man. Like, I think everybody should be able to go out and have their individual success. Nicki being successful doesn't hurt Megan. Megan being successful doesn't hurt Nicki. I do think Nicki feels some type of way that Megan's getting a documentary released on a streaming network with backing, with support at this point in her career, and we've still been waiting on hers. That's just being honest. A few weeks ago, I didn't even cover this, but a few weeks ago, she was on Station Head talking about everyone wondering where her documentary is at. She was basically covertly blaming Roc Nation and other executives in the industry for stomping that out and not allowing that to happen, making calls. But I just find it interesting that the Queen can be shut down. To my knowledge, queens don't get shut down. You know what I'm saying? It's not being sarcastic. It's not being mean. It's not being biased. If you're the queen, if one door closes, somebody should be willing to open the door for you elsewhere. And if that's not the case, you should be able to do it yourself. As long as a YouTube platform exists, as long as a Tubi exists, there's plenty of self-serve options out there. It may not come across as glamorous, right? You may not get a big studio to put the money up, but you're the biggest ever. You should have the money to invest. Bet on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Smaller people do it all the time. So I don't think that's an excuse. She says it's still coming, so I'm interested in seeing it wherever it drops, whenever it drops. I'm gonna tune in, because I'm not the closest follower of Nicki and her entire story, right? So whenever she does drop a documentary, I'm willing to check it out and see what's going on and see the moments that I wasn't privy to, learn some things. So we'll just have to see when she's able to do that. You know what I mean? But I'm kind of in a place of trying to strike peace with this hip hop shit right now. You know, beef, battles, disses, it's entertaining. Definitely gets the juices flowing, pause. But I think at a certain point it does go a bit too far. It does consume you. It consumes the artist in question. It consumes the fans. And it just brings like a bad taste to the conversation sometimes. So that's where I stand. I don't think Nicki and Meg are going to find peace. Megan respecting and loving her mother. That I don't see that happening. But I believe there could be a point where they just stop acknowledging each other. And I will be welcome to that. But, you know, however it goes, it's not like Megan sitting around talking about Nicki. It's kind of the other way around. But hopefully we'll get to a point where that can no longer be a thing. All right. Let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider, and I will catch y'all on the next one. All right. Much love and respect, y'all. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. But drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they died of me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but you run no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. When I catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.